Hello, my friend. I am really glad you are here with me today. Let me ask you something that might sound familiar. Have you ever woken up after what should have been a full night of sleep, but still felt completely exhausted? You did everything right. You went to bed early. You stayed in bed for 8 or even 9 hours. But when morning came, it felt like you had been running all night instead of resting. Or maybe it hits you later in the day. It's around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and suddenly you find yourself sinking into your chair, barely able to keep your eyes open. If that sounds like you, please know that you are not alone, and it is not just a normal part of aging. I've heard from so many women in their 60s and 70s who feel exactly the same way. They say, "I'm always tired and I don't know why." That is what we are going to talk about today. Real reasons, real solutions. Nothing extreme, just honest conversation between women who understand. By the end, I hope you will feel seen, encouraged, and ready to take back some of your energy and peace. You deserve to feel like yourself again. So, let's begin this journey together. 1. You're not really resting. You're just pausing. Asterisk, asterisk. Let's start with something that might sound a little odd at first. Many of us think we are resting when, really, we are just pausing, and there's a big difference. You might spend most of the day sitting in your favorite chair. Maybe the television is on. Maybe you are reading. Maybe you are just looking out the window. And that seems like rest, right? But then 5 o'clock rolls around, and you feel like you ran a marathon. Your legs ache, your back feels stiff, and your brain is just tired. How can that be when you barely moved all day? The truth is, rest is not just the absence of activity. Rest is supposed to renew you. It is meant to fill your cup. But when we sit too long, especially without any real movement or stimulation, our bodies start to shut down in quiet ways. Our circulation slows, our muscles stiffen, our joints begin to ache, and our energy levels drop. It's almost like your body says, "Oh, we're not doing anything. Great. Let's power down." I once spoke to a woman named June who told me, "I sit all day, but I feel more tired now than when I used to work on my feet." And I understood exactly what she meant. So what can we do? The answer is not extreme. You don't need to join a gym or start doing heavy exercise. You just need to remind your body that it still matters, that it is still needed. That can be something as simple as asterisk, standing up every hour to stretch. Asterisk, marching in place during a commercial break. Asterisk, rolling your shoulders. Asterisk, walking to the mailbox. Asterisk, stretching while brushing your teeth. These little movements may not seem like much, but they tell your body, we are still in the game. Your body wants to support you, but it needs a signal that it is still part of the picture. Stillness feels comforting, but too much of it sends the wrong message to your system. The goal is not to exhaust yourself. The goal is to wake yourself up from the inside out. 2, you're dehydrated and you don't even know it. Now let's talk about something surprisingly powerful. Water. Yes, plain old water. It sounds too simple, but dehydration is one of the most common and overlooked reasons for daily fatigue, especially in older women. As we get older, the way our bodies signal thirst begins to change. When you were younger, your body would shout at you. When you needed water, you would feel parched. Your mouth would get dry. Your lips would crack. But now, that signal is much quieter. Sometimes by the time you feel thirsty, you've already been running low for hours. I once talked to a woman who said she had water with her morning medication and soup for lunch. That was it all day. She thought that was enough. But when we talked more, she realized she had gone hours without a sip. Her energy was low, her thinking was foggy, and she was taking afternoon naps without meaning to. Once she started sipping water throughout the day, just a little at a time, her energy came back. It was like a light turned on inside her. The trick here is consistency. Hydration doesn't mean drinking a gallon all at once. That can actually make things worse. What your body needs is steady sips, hour by hour. Keep a glass near you. Add lemon, mint, or a splash of juice if that makes it more appealing. Call it your spa tonic. Make it part of your rhythm. Now, I know many women avoid drinking water because they are afraid of making too many trips to the bathroom. I hear that all the time. But sipping slowly over time puts less pressure on your system than gulping all at once. It also gives your cells a constant fuel they need to keep everything working. Your heart, your brain, your muscles. Even mild dehydration thickens your blood slightly, makes your heart work harder, and tells your brain to slow things down. That's when you feel tired for no reason. So, the next time you find yourself nodding off mid-sentence or losing track of conversation, ask yourself, when was the last time I had a drink of water? It could be the simplest fix you never knew you needed. Three, you're carrying silent stress that drains you. This next reason is one that touches the heart. It's something we don't always talk about, especially as women. It's what I call silent stress, and it's one of the heaviest things we carry, even when we don't realize it. Silent stress is not like a panic attack or a big dramatic moment. It's quiet. It sneaks in during ordinary days. It might be worry about your health, fear of being alone, anxiety about money, or wondering if your memory is slipping. Maybe it's grief. Maybe it's just that the house is too quiet, and the phone doesn't ring like it used to. I once heard a woman say, "I have nothing to worry about. I'm retired. My kids are grown." Then she paused and said softly, "But I guess I do worry about everything." That is what silent stress feels like. It sits in the background like a hum, not loud, but always there. And your body reacts to it. Even when your mind says, "I'm fine," your body hears those thoughts and starts to respond. It releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Your muscles tighten, your sleep gets disrupted, your mood dims, and most of all, your energy disappears. So what can you do? You can start by naming it. Speak it out loud. Write it down. One woman I admire keeps a little box. She calls her worry vault. Every night, she writes down one thing that is on her mind. She folds the paper, puts it in the box, and says, "That's tomorrow's problem." She says she sleeps better than she has in years. You can also talk to someone you trust, a friend, a counselor, or a support group. Or you can take 5 quiet minutes each day to just sit with your hand on your heart and breathe deeply. You'd be amazed how powerful it is to simply say to yourself, "I'm feeling a lot and that's okay." Stress doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's just a heavy blanket that dulls everything. Your thoughts, your joy, your energy. But you don't have to carry it all alone. And you certainly don't have to carry it forever. For you're eating food that drain you instead of fueling you. Now let's talk about something deeply familiar, and yet often misunderstood. Food. We all know that what we eat affects how we feel. But for many women over 60, the foods we turn to for comfort are quietly robbing us of our energy. Think about a typical breakfast. Maybe you have toast with jelly, or a muffin with coffee, or a bowl of cereal. These meals are soft, simple, and easy to prepare. They feel safe. But here's the catch. Most of these foods are loaded with simple carbohydrates and sugars. They give you a quick boost of energy, but then you crash hard. I once met a woman named Ellen who told me she ate white toast with jam and a banana every morning. About an hour later, she would feel groggy, her energy dropped, and she often needed a nap by 10 o'clock. At first, she blamed her age, but after talking to her doctor, she learned that her blood sugar was spiking and crashing. That so-called healthy breakfast was really a sugar bomb. When she started eating a boiled egg, some avocado, and a small handful of almonds, she told me, "I feel 10 years younger." Many of us were raised to believe that fat is bad and carbs are good. That was the messaging back in the 1970s and 1980s. But now we know better. Healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, nuts, and seeds actually help stabilize energy. They keep you full longer and support brain health. Meanwhile, processed carbs, low-fat snacks, and sugary treats give you a short burst, then leave you more tired than before. Another problem is that many meals for older adults are too light. A piece of toast and tea might feel sufficient, but your body needs protein and fiber to stay steady. Without them, your blood sugar swings, your energy dips, and your brain fogs up. Food is not just about staying full. It's about nourishment. It's your body's fuel. And just like a car, if you put the wrong kind in the tank, you sputter and stall. So, the next time you're planning a meal, ask yourself, will this help me feel steady and strong 2 hours from now? Or will I be reaching for another nap? Your meals can be small, simple, and still powerful. Just give your body what it truly needs, not just what is easy or familiar. Five, you're not getting deep sleep, only light resting. Now let's talk about sleep. Not just going to bed, but the kind of sleep that actually restores you. Because a lot of women think they're sleeping enough, but they wake up feeling like they never close their eyes at all. Here's the thing. There's a difference between being in bed and being in deep sleep. You might go to bed at 10 o'clock, stay in bed for 8 hours, and still feel like you were awake the whole night. That's because your body might be stuck in light sleep. You're not reaching the deep, restorative stages where healing and recovery happen. Why does this matter? Because during deep sleep, your brain clears out waste, your muscles repair themselves, and your energy is truly restored. Without it, you wake up groggy, forgetful, and tired, no matter how early you went to bed. I once spoke with a woman who said she slept with the television on every night. She couldn't handle the silence. But what she didn't realize was that the light and sound were keeping her brain alert. Her mind never fully shut down. When she switched to a white noise machine and started taking magnesium before bed, she said something that broke my heart and lifted it at the same time. She said, "I dreamed I forgot what dreaming felt like." There are many things that can keep us from reaching deep sleep: chronic pain, medications, anxiety, even needing to use the bathroom too often at night. But the good news is there are small changes that help. Try creating a gentle bedtime ritual. Dim the lights an hour before bed. Turn off screens. Sip something warm like chamomile tea. Make your bedroom cool and dark. You're telling your body it's time to rest. Real rest. Also, ask your doctor about supplements like magnesium or melatonin, but always talk to them first. Every person is different. If you're waking up more tired than when you went to bed, don't ignore it. Your sleep may be missing the most important part, depth, and once you start sleeping deeply again, everything begins to feel lighter. 6, you're not getting enough time outside. This one might surprise you, but it is one of the most powerful energy boosters we have, and it's completely free. Time outside. As we get older, many of us spend more and more time indoors. It feels safer, more comfortable, and less tiring. But the truth is, staying inside all day can quietly drain your energy and your mood. Your body is deeply connected to the sun and the natural world. There's something called your circadian rhythm, your internal clock. It tells your body when to be awake and when to wind down, and that clock is set by light, not just any light, natural daylight. When you spend all day under dim lamps or artificial lighting, your brain gets confused. It doesn't know when to boost energy or when to release sleep hormones like melatonin. Everything gets out of sync. That's why, even with plenty of sleep, you might feel groggy all day and wide awake at night. I remember a man who said, "I started sitting on my porch with coffee for 15 minutes every morning. That's all I changed, and within a week, I felt more alive. Just 15 minutes. And it's not just about light. Fresh air helps your lungs. A breeze on your face. The sound of birds. Even watching trees sway. These things reconnect you to the world. They ground you. Most people are also low in vitamin D, especially as we age. And vitamin D supports mood, immune health, and energy. Sunlight is the best source. You don't need to sunbathe. Just be in the light. Even if you can't go far, open a window, sit by the door, step out onto your porch, breathe, feel the air, notice the sky, say hello to the world again. When you go outside, even for just a little bit, you're telling your body, we are still part of life. We are still here. And your body responds, not just with energy, but with joy. Underscore, 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 underscore. 7. You're low on vital nutrients, and you don't even know it. Let's talk about something invisible, but incredibly important. Your nutrients. These are the tiny building blocks your body depends on every single day. And as we age, even if we eat the same way we always have, our bodies can become less efficient at absorbing the good stuff. You might eat a healthy breakfast. You might cook balanced meals. But still, your energy is low. You're foggy, maybe dizzy. You feel weak or forgetful. Many women assume this is just part of aging. But in reality, it could be that your body is running low on key nutrients like vitamin B12, vitamin D, iron, or magnesium. Here's the tricky part. You can be deficient in these nutrients and not even realize it. The symptoms are vague. You might just feel a little off, a little tired, a little down, and so it gets dismissed or ignored. I remember a woman named Carol. She said, I feel like I am walking through mud. She thought it was just part being 72, but her daughter encouraged her to get a blood test. It turned out she was low in vitamin B12 and iron, with just a few changes. A supplement here, a small diet adjustment there. Carol said, I feel like someone turned the lights back on in my body. Vitamin B12 supports your brain and nerve function. Iron helps carry oxygen through your blood. Vitamin D supports your immune system, mood, and energy. Magnesium helps your muscles relax and your heart stay steady. Without these, you're asking your body to function without its fuel. You don't need to guess. Ask your doctor to check your levels, especially if you're feeling constantly drained. Do not settle for vague answers. Be your own advocate. Say, I want to understand what my body is missing. You deserve to feel steady and strong. And sometimes the answer isn't more sleep or more rest. Sometimes it's more nutrients. Silent deficiencies can whisper for years before anyone notices, but once you hear them, you can take action, and that action can change everything. 8. You have lost your spark, and that drains more than you know. This next part might be the most personal of all. It's not about your body. It's about your spirit. Because sometimes tiredness doesn't come from muscles or sleep. It comes from feeling empty inside. From losing your spark. For many women, especially after retirement, after children have grown, after partners have passed, or routines have ended, life gets quiet, maybe too quiet. The days run together. You go through the motions. You do what needs to be done, but inside, something feels missing. You're not sad, exactly. You're not crying or in crisis, but there's a kind of dullness. A lack of joy, and that weighs on you. I once spoke to a widow named Diane. She said, I'm not depressed. I just don't feel much of anything. That right there is a different kind of exhaustion, emotional exhaustion, the kind that makes even simple tasks feel heavy. When you have nothing to look forward to, no reason to get out of bed beyond habit, your energy fades. Because energy is not just physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual. We need meaning. We need connection. We need small joys that remind us we are alive. But here's the hopeful part. Your spark is not gone. It is just waiting. Sometimes it is found a hobby you once loved. Sometimes it's starting something new. One woman I know started painting again. Her hands were slower, her eyes not as sharp, but she said, I feel like me again. Your spark might be a book you want to write, a plant you want to grow, a neighbor you want to visit. It doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be real. So ask yourself, what used to make me smile? What have I not tried in years? What could I do just for the fun of it? You're not too old to begin again. In fact, now may be the perfect time. And when your spark returns, so does your energy. It's not magic, it's meaning. And you still have so much life left to feel. Underscore, 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 underscore. 9. Your medications might be working against you. Now we come to something that many people overlook. Your medications. If you are taking more than 2 or 3 prescriptions each day, there's a real possibility that some of them might be canceling each other out, or worse, draining your energy without you realizing it. As we get older, it's common to end up with what I call the medicine cabinet collection. 1 pill for blood pressure, 1 for sleep, 1 for cholesterol, 1 for the side effect of the first 3. Before you know it, you are swallowing a small pharmacy each morning. The problem is, every medication has side effects, and when they interact, they can cause symptoms like fatigue, dizziness, brain fog, or even depression. I once read about a woman who was taking one medication that made her drowsy and another that made her anxious. She spent months feeling like she was spinning in place. When a pharmacist reviewed her medications, they realized those 2 drugs were working against each other. After adjusting the doses, she said, "I feel like my old self again." Doctors are wonderful, but they're often rushed. That's why I always recommend doing a full medication review with a pharmacist. Pharmacists specialize in how drugs interact, and they can spot things your doctor might miss. Ask questions. Say, "Can we go through all of these and see if anything might be causing fatigue?" You're not being difficult. You're being smart. And don't forget, even over-the-counter medications, supplements, and vitamins can interfere with each other. Your body is a delicate balance. And sometimes the solution is not adding more, but removing what no longer serves you. You deserve clarity, not confusion. Strength, not sluggishness. So, don't accept tiredness as your new normal. Sometimes, it is just your body asking for a better balance. Underscore, 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 underscore. 10. You might just need more joy in your life. Now we've reached the final reason, and maybe the most unexpected one of all. When you feel tired all the time, when your days feel heavy and slow, it might not be your body that is the problem. It might be your spirit asking for more joy. Yes, joy. Not just happiness. Not just contentment. I mean real living, breathing joy. The kind that makes you smile without trying. The kind that makes your heart lift just a little, even on the hard days. This may sound simple or soft, but please don't brush it off. Because over and over again, I have seen something powerful happen when older women, especially women over 60, begin to reconnect with joy. They begin to wake up again, not just physically, but emotionally. The light comes back in their eyes. Their steps feel lighter. Their voices sound stronger. Let me tell you why this matters. So many of us live our later years by routine. We follow the schedule. Meals, medications, appointments, maybe television in the evening. We stay busy, but we don't always feel alive. And when life becomes only about what needs to be done, when there is no space left for play, or surprise, or delight, that wears us down in ways we don't always notice. You can eat right, sleep well, even take all the right vitamins, and still feel exhausted if there is no spark inside. Because energy is not just physical, it is emotional, it is spiritual. And without joy, your soul feels like it is running on empty. One woman I spoke with said, "I have everything I need, but I feel like I am fading." That broke my heart, because I understood what she meant. She was not depressed. She was not in crisis. She was simply missing joy, the kind of small but powerful joy that makes life worth waking up for. So what does joy look like? It is different for everyone. For one woman, it was dancing in her living room to music from her teenage years. For another, it was painting again, even though her hands were not as steady. One grandmother told me she started writing poetry. Badly, she laughed, but it made her feel alive. Another woman adopted an older cat. She said, "We nap at the same time, and I never feel alone anymore." That is joy, quiet, personal, beautiful joy. It does not need to be big. It does not need to be loud, but it does need to be present. It can be laughter. It can be creativity. It can be silliness. It can be a walk with a friend, or planting flowers in a pot and checking on them every morning like they're your babies. So here's what I want to ask you. When was the last time you did something just for the fun of it? Not because it was productive, not because someone asked you to, just because it felt good to be you in that moment? If that question feels hard to answer, it's okay. Many of us forget how to play. Many of us were taught that joy is extra, something we have to earn, or something that belongs to younger people. But that is not true. You're allowed to enjoy life now. In fact, it might be more important now than ever. Joy does not erase grief. It does not take away pain. But it gives your heart something to hold on to, something that says, I am still here. I still matter. You do not have to wait for joy to find you. You can invite it in a little each day. You can be gentle with yourself. You can try something new or return to something old. You can laugh even if no one else is around. You can choose joy even in the middle of ordinary days. And when you do, something begins to shift. Your body feels it. Your energy responds. It feels just a little less heavy. So if you are feeling tired in your bones and in your soul, ask yourself, could it be that what I really need is a little more joy? Because joy is not silly. It is strength. It is not weakness. It is fuel. And you deserve to have it, not someday, but right now.